Good afternoon. This is Betty Sham. The wind's blowing out here, and we really feel like we're having a cold front. It's just 99 degrees today, and it's probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, anyway, it feels better than it's been feeling the last few days. I've got the water running around some of my pecan trees, and I told Connor, I said, my lawn has never looked so dead. It's dry, and I hadn't watered like I usually do with him being here. It's hard for me to find time just to water the yard because we're on the go and doing things. And I bought something the other day, and by the way, I want to be sure because my grandson will tell me you didn't thank people for subscribing and you didn't thank people for watching. So I want to do that. I do appreciate you watching and subscribing, but a lot of times I forget to say that and I get in trouble. So I wanted to be sure to get that worked in. But I went to a tractor farm store the other day, and or here a while back, and they had these little old bitty galvanized tubs. And Lord, you talk about bringing back memories. Matter of fact, they only had about 3 of them, and I bought them all. I thought, man, that would be cute to put a flower arrangement in, or that would be cute for this or that. So, see, that's the way I am. I find things that I want to make something out of. And I bought me some galvanized tubs. And I got to thinking, I wonder how many of you ever had a bath in a galvanized tub. Now, when I went to Oklahoma, a lot of times there was no running water in the house. So our bath was in a galvanized tub when I was a kid, when we were in Oklahoma. And I remember they'd get the old galvanized tub out, and we'd fill it full of water. And if you got it hot, by the time you got in there, nearly it's cooled off. But anyway, I always wanted to be the first one to bathe because I couldn't stand the thought of bathing after somebody else had been in that water. I didn't want to get in the water after somebody else had been in there. And I never could understand why we had to use the same water. Why couldn't we took the tub out and dumped it and then started all over? But as I've got older, I understand it's kind of hard to lift a tub of water out. So anyway, Mama would put us in the middle of a tub and she'd let one of us get in there. It's just me and my sister, remember? And she'd put one of us in the tub, and of course I always wanted to go first because I wanted the clean water. I didn't tell Mama I didn't want to bathe after my sister, but I didn't. I was a city girl and I wanted clean water. So anyway, she'd put us in the tub and she'd take that bar of soap and a wash rag and wash us off real fast and tell us to get out or stand up. And then she had water heating on the stove and a dish pan, and she'd take that water and she'd pour it over us. And I don't know what the rule was for pouring water over a kid, but sometimes I felt like she was trying to scald a hog, the butcher, or she's trying to scald a chicken to pluck. But anyway, it'd be too hot, and then sometimes she'd pour it over us, and it's so cold we couldn't stand it. But everybody needs that experience of having a bath in a galvanized tub. The only way you can tell of the experience is to have that experience. So everybody, you need to get you a galvanized tub, haul it into your house, and I'll let you use the gas stove to heat the water. But at that time, we was using the wood-burning stove to heat the water. Okay, and I'll tell you this. If you took a bath in a galvanized tub because there was no running water in the house and no bathroom, I also know of an experience that you would never forget. If you ever had this experience, I promise you, you will never forget it. And what I recommend doing, if you have to go to the outhouse, you be sure you take a big gulp of air a mile back before you get to it, because when you get in there, you don't want to breathe. It is so horrible. And when you go in there, a lot of times they had a 2-seater with holes, for you to sit on. And you'd use them, but a lot of times them boards wasn't even across there. There'd be a board, and they had part of it cut out, and then have another board and part of it cut out to make the round part for you to sit over. And if you didn't sit down right and do it just right, sometimes you get your backside pinched, and you didn't want to do that. But I've been in some that were just real nice. I mean, I've went in some, they had a high one for the adults and a small one built for the little ones. But that wasn't all. They put linoleum on the floor. But the reason they put that linoleum on the floor is because the boards, when you step on them, were uneven. But they put linoleum on the floor, and some of them even put linoleum over the top and cut them holes out where it'd be softer on your behind. But anyway, you'd go in there and you'd try to hold your breath because it was so strong odor. There's so much gas in there that they had cracks in the wall, and I used to think that was just a mistake. But I got to thinking they may have put them cracks in there for the gas to escape, because if anything was to happen, them things would blow up. And talk about an odor and a smell. You will never forget it, and especially if it's in the summertime when it's hot and the stuff is boiling in the toilet. And when you get through, then you turn to look for something to clean yourself up with, and there was nothing there. I never seen a roll of toilet paper on any of them Oklahoma rolls that you could use to wipe your back behind with. It was always empty. There never was a roll on it, but there was a book in the floor. And I never could figure out why did they have that book in the floor in the outhouse. And it finally dawned on me when somebody went out there with me and explained to me what that book was for. And it was an old Sears and Roebuck book is what it was. And I thought, well, they picked that up and looked at the pictures while they were sitting on the toilet. But I know that didn't happen because you couldn't stay out there that long. You wanted out of there. Matter of fact, when I went to Oklahoma when I was a child, most of the time I come home very constipated because they couldn't make me go to the bathroom. It smelled so bad. But anyway, they pick up that old Sears and Roebuck catalog that everybody's walked on and stepped on, and they tear them pages out to use for cleaning yourself with. And I never did figure out how they got it soft enough you could clean anything with it. They was stiff, and that didn't work well. Even me, I knew that wouldn't clean you good, and I was just a little girl. But anyway, by the time you got out of there, you was just so thankful. And when you needed to go again, you'd pray, oh, God, don't make me have to go back in there. And, you know, God was good to us by not giving us rare diseases and everything. And I remember one night we was asleep in one of the houses, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I had to go bad. And I asked my mama to take me out, and she said, I'm not going out there. So she gave me a flashlight, and my sister went out there with me. We got out there, we could hear a cat meowing. And there was a cat down in that. And I told my sister, I said, let's go back to the house. So we went back to the house, and of course I went running in and told my daddy and my mama there's a cat out there in the toilet. And they said, well, if he found his way in there, he can find his way out. They wasn't about to go out there and try to get that cat out of that toilet. But anyway, it's quite an experience, and if you've never experienced, I feel sorry for you because you can't tell your kids what it's really like. But you know what? I got to thinking that's almost as bad as going to the bathroom at Walmart or Albertsons or anywhere where they have bathroom stalls. And here we used to have them at Kmart, and we had them at Walmart and Penny's and different places. And that experience sometimes is quite an experience because you go in there and they give you these little light things to cushion the seat with so you won't get a disease or anything. And you put this thin paper on there, and you turn around to sit down on it. Uh-oh, something hit me in the face. You turn around to sit on it, and lo and behold, the commode flushes and the paper goes right down. So you get another one and you put it on there, and about the third or fourth time you finally get your bottom on the toilet where you can use it. And then when you get through, there is no toilet paper. And if there is toilet paper, it's so thin that if you go to use it, you run your fingers through it. So, you know, that gets to be an experience too. So when I got to where when I go to the bathroom, I make sure there's toilet paper before I ever set my big self down. And anyway, I went with my sister-in-law one time to a store, and I believe it was a Walmart store, and we had to go to the restroom, so we went in there. And she went and fixed her little pot up where it had the paper on it, and she got sit down, and she used the bathroom. Then when she got up, she hollered, "Betty, Betty, I need toilet paper. There is no toilet paper." I said, "Okay, I'll send you some." And she said, "Okay." And I said, I had to stop and think, now, do I want to send this over the stall or under the stall? Because I've done it both ways. And I thought, well, I'm going to teach her a lesson. I said, "I want to tell you something. I'll give you some toilet paper if you'll sing me a song." And she tuned up and she started singing. For a while, she wouldn't do it. Then pretty soon she tuned up and she started singing. "Meat's fine bread is soft and twisted, has a better flavor. Get some from your store today and do yourself a favor." So I got the toilet paper and I decided I'd send it over the top. So I threw that toilet paper and it sailed over the top. Now she had to grab it because she didn't want it touching the floor and her having to use it. But she grabbed that toilet paper. But she's never let me live down the fact. She said, "I'll get you in a position one time and I'm going to make you sing a song." But anyway, we had a wonderful day that day. And I've had a wonderful day today. I hope someday you'll get to experience some of this stuff I'm telling you about. Because if you've never experienced it, you can't tell it. Because it is a personal experience. You keep your chin up and serve the Lord and do what's right. See you later.